my legs just completely break because they're detached. And then I started screaming. I just started screaming, my knees, in front of this whole restaurant is like completely silent.
Dead
because
silent.
uncontrollably screaming. You could literally see the quad muscles
Crazy.
elevating out of my legs.
So the Uber driver pulls up to the hospital, and the hospital looks like dark. It looks almost like closed.
At that point, I obviously knew something was really wrong.
Welcome to the AAA Mindset, the podcast where adversity isn't a setback. It's the setup. If life has challenged you and stepped on your confidence and forced you to pivot, you're in the right place. Here, we train the mind to face obstacles head on and turn them into fuel for growth, resilience, and success.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the AAA Mindset. My name is Abby McMaster.
I'm Anastasia Young.
And I'm Adam Young.
And if you don't know this yet, fun fact, but Adam and I are actually brother and sister, and this is our amazing sister-in-law. This is our very first episode, and we are so excited to have you on here because we're about to share a story with you that many people may know a little bit about, but nobody knows the entire story. And it's one of truly going from the highest points of your life to being knocked down literally and thinking to yourself, how will I overcome this? So let's start with this trip to Japan that you both were on, and tell us a little bit about why you were there.
Well, this summer we traveled to Japan and for almost like a postponed honeymoon, only took us 5 years, and to see our friends compete in the Masters Olympia. We had a client competing in the bikini division there, and we were having this phenomenal trip, eating crazy foods, experiencing the culture, and at the tail end of our trip, it was like 13 days in, we booked a dinner where they showcased sumo wrestling.
Okay, perfect. So of course, only in Japan would you actually go to a restaurant that has sumo wrestling. It sounds like a good time. So tell us, Adam, when you went there, like what happened when you walk into the restaurant?
So we walked in, we sat down, they gave us our food, took a while to get that, and then all of a sudden they started doing this sumo wrestling presentation. Right. And the funny thing about this is before we even left for the sumo wrestling restaurant, Anastasia told me, get ready because these guys are going to try to call you up on stage.
Oh, and let me just say, if you see Adam's size, you can imagine in Japan him walking into this restaurant and what that probably looked like.
And honestly, I'm a meathead. I love this stuff. So I was like, let's do this, in my head. But then we get to the restaurant, they do the sumo wrestling presentation, and then they start calling up volunteers, right? And so all these little kids are signing up, and there's some older adults that do it, right? Well, at first Anastasia asked me, she's like, are you going to do it? And I was like, hell no. I'm not doing that. I don't want to get hurt. That's exactly that crossed my mind, to be completely honest.
Was that you didn't want to get hurt?
I didn't want to get hurt, ironically. So they had some volunteers do it. Then they had their presentation. Then they called another round of volunteers.
Now let me, before you answer this, did you volunteer?
No, I didn't, because what happened when the sumo wrestlers were sumo wrestling, one of the sumo wrestlers got thrown into me. So I was sitting at the table. These two sumo wrestlers are wrestling. Well, one of them throws the other one basically into me. The guy lands on me. I catch him.
While we're sitting at our table.
While we're sitting at the table. And so this guy acknowledged my muscles. So then he started calling me Macho Muscle, right? So when they called up the second round of volunteers, he pointed me out. And he started pointing at me and flexing at me in front of this restaurant full of people and was like, Macho Muscle.
They were kind of egging you on.
So they were egging me on.
Yeah,
so I was at that point, I was like, whatever, I'll be a good sport. Let's do this. Okay. So then I get in my mind that I'm about to sumo wrestlers. So I get into seeing red mode and go into, Adam's high school football days mentally. And I'm like, I'm going to kick this guy's ass. I can be good at this. I'm a big dude. I'm a strong dude. This guy's big, but he's fat. I know he knows how to sumo wrestle, but I can do this.
Now, are you actually in a sumo wrestling costume?
Yes.
Okay. So, we have the whole gear going.
They do. Yeah. So they, encouraged me to do it, and I finally agreed. They put me in this sumo wrestling costume. Okay. A couple people go before me, and then it's my turn, right? So the lady's announcing my name. She's like, Adam Young, he's a professional bodybuilder. The guys were asking her what I did because they were like, what kind of professional athlete is he? Okay.
Yeah, because you stick out like a sore thumb.
Right.
Because you're
in Japan.
And they're a bunch of small people, and I'm this big jack white dude, right? I agree. I go I go to the sumo pit, and the guy starts flexing at me. We're like putting on a show, right? Nobody thinks anything of this. We start going at it. Believe it or not, I was kicking his ass. I was pushing him back, and I think he finally realized, like, oh shit, this guy's like for real. And so he almost stepped out of the ring. And right before that, he stepped to the side. Well, my momentum was going forward, and my leg, like my foot, was turned, but my knee went straight forward, blew my left quad out, and then blew my right quad out.
And at the time, you don't actually know what's happening.
And I had no idea what had happened to me.
Okay, so I was filming this and I threw my phone because immediately I knew that Adam, something wasn't right. He fell down and he all of a sudden starts to get back up, and then he literally falls over the sumo wrestling pit again.
Well, let me kind of tell you about like what that was like mentally, because when I fell, I think my brain registered that I was hurt, because I can see in the video I kind of like picked my leg up, like you could tell that my brain was like, okay, something's hurt. But then, being the meathead I am, I was like, I can't show pain in front of all these people, so I'm just gonna suck it up. So I stood up, not knowing that both quad tendons were completely blown off my knees, and as soon as I stand up, my legs just completely break because they're detached, and I roll off the sumo pit, land on my ass, and then I quickly realized that my left knee was not okay, and then all of a sudden the right one felt the same exact way, and then I started screaming. I just started screaming, my knees, in front of this whole restaurant. This restaurant is like completely silent because they literally just saw this dude have a bilateral quad tendon rupture while they're eating rice and beef and having cocktails.
But at that time, you don't know that it's a bilateral quad tear.
I had no idea.
You think it's just, dehydration or something like that.
I probably was dehydrated. I probably pushed myself way too hard, and my body's just having like a freak out reaction.
So Anastasia, you sitting there and obviously seeing your husband, who's this bodybuilder who's going up there and just having fun, to now he can't walk. He's on the ground and you're in Japan. Like, how do you feel? Like, how does that make you feel as a wife? Did you go into what mode did you go into?
So I have some medical background. I used to work in the ER. I just put that hat on. It was like, okay, emergency situation. Somebody's hurt. What do we do? And so I was just like looking at the logistics of everything. Okay, the first thing we need to do is get you stable. So these sumo wrestlers literally like pick up Adam off the ground and carried him into a seat. And I'm like, okay, is there a medic on staff? No medic. Okay, great. Can we get some ice? Like trying to figure out what like the next steps are, and trying to honestly start figuring out like, well, what could have been going on? And immediately I'm like, okay, we've been walking 20,000 steps a day in the dead of the summer of Japan, which is like ungodly hot. Like you think of Florida times 10, especially as you're outside all day. Water is not easily accessible because you have to throw away your water bottles on your own. You have to carry your own trash because there's no trash cans in Japan.
So people don't walk around with like jugs of water there.
Interesting.
There's no bottles of water, and after a while, like you're carrying your trash, so you don't have more hands for water.
Right. And there's no water fountains anywhere.
Right.
So we're just like, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, what could possibly be going on? And so I'm thinking like, okay, rhabdomyolysis, which is like severe dehydration. The kidneys start to break down, or is it muscle cramps or whatever, so my hat went on to like, okay, emergency mode, let's get him stable, let's get him in the Uber, we got to get going.
So when they sat me down in the chair, my body started going into complete shock.
Yeah.
So then I just started pouring sweat. Like I was literally just dripping sweat off my chin. I had a huge ring on my shirt because my body was just freaking out. So then they were like, do you guys want an ambulance? Well, I'm in Japan on vacation. Like the last thing I want to do is go to the hospital in Japan.
Right.
So I was like, I'll be all right. I'll be fine. Let's just get an Uber. We'll be okay. Just take us back to the hotel. So like, all right, sounds good. So they call us an Uber. This dude in the back is like 400 pounds, no lie.
He was like washing dishes.
Yeah, he was like the dishwasher in the back.
He wasn't even the sumo wrestler.
For sure. I'm sure he was a sumo wrestler. If he's not, he should be.
New job for him.
For sure.
New job.
So he comes out because Anastasia went back and she was like, hey, can anybody help my husband get to the car? And like another huge issue with this, dealing with all this, was I'm a big ass dude. So it's not like I'm some like small dude that you can just like help to the car. So I'm like 5'7", about 215, probably 220 at the time.
So very stocky.
Like, I'm a dense dude. Helping pick me up is not an easy task. Okay. Uber rolls up. Sumo wrestler takes me out in the car.
Slash dishwasher.
Slash dishwasher. I get in the Uber. Again, I have no idea that my quad tendons have exploded off my knees. So I bend my legs to get into the car. Well, I can't bend my legs, but I didn't know that. So I try to bend my legs to get into the Uber. And I don't think I would have screamed louder if I was being murdered with a rusted knife. I just started, I mean, when I tell you screaming, I mean uncontrollably screaming. And you could watch my quads crawling out of my legs. You could literally see the quad muscles elevating out of my legs. At that point, I knew something was not right.
Well, I was going to say, just being your sister, I know you've never experienced anything like this before. So you probably knew automatically something's wrong.
Yeah.
On the other hand, though, you're probably never thinking that is actually what the injury is because it's very uncommon.
I didn't even know what that was. Like, I don't think anybody really knows what that is unless you have someone that's gone through that. And that's pretty damn rare.
So at this point, you're thinking, okay, I'm screaming bloody murder. I got to go to the hospital.
Right. So me and Anastasia are in the car. We're like literally watching my quads like crawling out of my skin, like literally.
We head over to the hospital.
Right.
Basically, first of all, this Uber driver is like, what is going on?
What is happening with these Americans?
He was like trembling.
He's terrified because Adam's like screaming for bloody murder to get in there. And then all of a sudden I changed the Uber ride on the app to go straight to the hospital. We were going to go back to the hotel and he's like, no, I need to go to the hospital, which for Adam to say that is a big deal.
Big deal.
I can't even get this guy to go take like, routine checkups with his doctor. So the Uber driver pulls up to the hospital and the hospital looks like dark. It looks almost like closed. And this is Tokyo, right? This is an international city. We're like, what's going on?
This is the second busiest hospital in Japan.
We didn't just pick a random hospital. We picked like a good hospital that was like an international hospital. It was like, maybe they can speak English. So the Uber driver pulls up and the entrance is dark. He kind of pulls up to the wrong entrance. Can you turn around to the right entrance? And he's playing with us. We're translating back and forth on Google Translator. He's like, no, I'm not allowed to do that. And we're like, why? And he's like, because my meter's out. And we're like, are you freaking kidding? This guy needs to get into the hospital and you can't just pull around to the right entrance because your meter's out. Now, that is like a testament to the strict rule following in Japan and the culture there. So that was kind of crazy. And so after like pleading back and forth with him to take us to the correct entrance, I finally pull someone to get him out of the car with a wheelchair. So as soon as Adam stands up out of the car, he literally collapses again, pulling on both the other Japanese man that's helping get him out and myself. And he's like screaming in excruciating pain. And it was clear that this hospital was not like the ones we normally see in the US. It was like a little dated, a little grungy. The healthcare workers looked like they were on some bad telenovela on Grey's Anatomy. They were like who are pretending to be healthcare workers, but actually not healthcare workers because they were like, here, take Adam's vitals. Like they had me take his vitals.
They handed her the thermometer.
Yeah, like the thermometer, like I had to go do his blood pressure. It was so bizarre. This whole time we're thinking, again, like he has severe muscle cramping and we're thinking he's dehydrated. So we go to the vending machines and I'm like, give me all these electrolytes. So we get all these electrolyte drinks. Do you remember the name of those? They're like Kopari or something. I can't remember.
Like that.
But
it was like their Gatorade.
Yeah, it was like their Gatorade. We get the electrolytes. We're trying to do that. And all of a sudden Adam has to pee, but he's in this wheelchair.
Well, because he's got all these electrolytes in him now.
Yeah.
Right. So that was fun because now I went from a very athletic, healthy dude to now I'm in a wheelchair at a hospital. And now I have to pee like a racehorse and I don't have legs.
Well, and let's not forget, I mean, I think as much as I've known this story, you hear Japan, but you're not thinking like how you just described it. Like even electrolyte drinks are in English and you're trying to get to the hospital and they don't speak English and the hospital workers don't speak English. They speak Japanese. So already you're stressed out, but now you don't even really know how to communicate.
Yeah. And we're in a serious situation where we need to communicate. Anastasia's force feeding me these electrolytes and drinks and water. I probably drank like 5 by the time that we got there by the time we got called in. To the back. Yeah. And so then I have to pee like a racehorse. So then, like I just said, I've got to figure out how to pee in a wheelchair. Never done that. Never been in a wheelchair. So now Anastasia has to push me back. We're going through, seeing all the beds and stuff. The doctors are all looking at us. Then I get in the bathroom and I'm like, okay, I can't just pee sitting down because I'm going to piss all over the wall.
Sorry.
So then
male problems.
Then I have to dip myself up on the armrest, sit on the armrest, and pee in the toilet because I had to go so bad. I just figured it out. I will say it is pretty crazy how much your mind and body adapt when you got a crazy situation
When
going
you
on.
have to do something, you will find a way.
Right.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. So you finally get to the room. Doctors come in. What are they saying? Like, what are they? And do they speak English? Actually, are they able to communicate with you?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
So the doctors and the nurses that are assigned to Adam were fairly communicative in English. There was definitely some breakdown for sure, but they immediately start taking his blood levels and then they start hooking him up to IVs. So they like basically push 4 IVs, give Adam a muscle relaxer, take his blood levels. They're kind of like thinking, oh, maybe rhabdomyolysis.
The doctor even said that. I'm pretty sure he said that because Anastasia said we think he has rhabdo, and he was like, oh yeah, rhabdo.
And they diagnose him with possible rhabdo, heat stroke, and dehydration. And they literally, after Adam gets all these electrolytes and pees like 1,000 times into the urinal, they literally have him take 2 steps into the wheelchair. No joke, start clapping for him as he sits back down into the wheelchair. They send us back to our hotel in the Uber again.
So they're like, okay, here you go. Rest it off. Good luck to you.
Yeah. So that's where we get back to the hotel and we tell the concierge, we're like, we need a wheelchair.
I was just going to ask you, like, what do you do? Leave him in the Uber or taxi?
Yeah.
And then you have to have somebody come out.
That part was kind of like blurry for me.
Yeah. I was going to say, you probably did like black out a little bit.
I don't remember as much that part from like leaving the hospital, going to the hotel. Like obviously I got into the Uber okay because I didn't collapse that time.
Yeah.
We get to the hotel. Anastasia goes in. She gets a guy from the hotel to come out and help. They actually got me in the car okay that time because I think I was more aware of like how I was collapsing. So I think I was like very conscious of that when I was getting out. Somehow got me in the wheelchair okay. Wheeled me up to the room because we were told that we had heat stroke. I thought, I'm probably getting better. I just got all these IVs and all these fluids in me. Like, I gotta start feeling better, right? Like, I actually remember laying at the hospital on like my 4th IV bag and turning to Anastasia and be like, you know what? I think I'm feeling a little bit better.
Because actually, I think that's when I reached out to you and you're like, oh, I'm totally getting better. I'm like, this is great.
Yeah, I think these IV bags are really healing my torn quadricep, so
which again we didn't.
Which
know
again,
anything about.
we had no idea that I had torn.
And
my
neither
quads.
did the doctor.
And
at the hospital.
obviously, the doctors didn't either.
They were not aware.
Again, we get back up to the hotel. I have to go pee. I try to take 2 steps to go to the bathroom. It's like I'm just gonna try to walk to the bathroom, and I literally break. My legs completely break. I'm gonna call it. I fall to the ground. My knees are under me. My feet are behind me, and my head's behind me, and my knees are completely bent under me.
So you're essentially like this crazy yoga move.
Yeah.
That again, somebody at this stature
Yoga
doesn't
move,
normally do.
Yoga move, but with a dude that doesn't have legs that can bend, but are bent under you.
Yeah,
so
you
if you can,
fold it like a chair.
I folded like a chair. So if you can imagine, my feet are under me, my head's behind me. I can't get up. I smack my head on a glass table as I fall.
In our hotel room,
because I didn't know I was going to do that. So as soon as I took the second step, my whole body just completely collapsed. I fell back, hit my head. She starts freaking out.
Oh, I was going to
say. She thinks I'm like going to die.
That was really terrifying for me at that moment because here, again, I'm like the person that's like, my kids fall and I'm like, you're okay. It's all good. Keep going.
Brush it off.
Brush it off. No big deal. Adam's the same way. When he gets injured, he's like, I'm okay. So we're still in that mode a little bit. And then as soon as he actually hits his head, collapses in our hotel room and hits his head on the glass table, like my heart went into my stomach. And honestly, like this is a little bit hard for me to talk about because it sends me to that place of like, is my husband going to be okay?
Oh.
And it really just, the gravity of the situation like really set in. And it was like, okay, like my husband is seriously, something is not right. First of all, is he conscious? Can I get him off the floor? And so thank God that I lift weights. I basically deadlift his body up onto the bed. We get him scooted back into the bed and comfortable. And then we basically I'm like, okay, you obviously cannot get up and walk. We need to just hydrate you again, even though I'm still like, I realize that there's something seriously wrong. I'm still holding on to that. Like, yeah, he's still dehydrated. So I'm like, we just need to get you fluids. And then literally, this is kind of funny. He has to pee. So we're like, how do we solve this problem without you getting up? Well, there's 2 little dinky
cocktail glasses.
Hotel glasses in your hotel. You know, the ones that they set, next to the little, the sink. Those are what we had.
That was my toilet.
Yeah. I may never drink out of those again.
Just
out of reality.
I feel bad for whoever's in that room.
he kept he kept filling those up, and I was continuously all night long running those back to the bathroom and dumping them out and bringing them back and dumping them out and bringing them back. And so that was our night. So we didn't sleep very well. The next morning we call our buddy Ralphie,